If you thought last week was volatile, buckle up, because this Tuesday, April 30th, is packed with high-stakes data drops that could rattle the majors. And today's price action. It's setting the stage. We're starting this Tuesday with the US dollar holding firm, boosted by lingering hawkish sentiment from the Fed and surprisingly resilient economic data out of the US. The DXY, dollar index, is hovering near the 106.30 level, climbing modestly after Friday's PCE inflation numbers slightly topped estimates. That gave traders more reason to believe the Fed might not be in a rush to cut rates in the near term. Meanwhile, the euro and the pound are under modest pressure as economic numbers from the Eurozone and the UK continue to signal softness. The Bank of Japan's ultra-loose stance remains unchanged, but a quiet intervention behind the scenes might be propping up the yen slightly today after US dollar to Japanese yen pushed past the critical 160 level overnight before retreating. Here's what moved the market today. Eurozone economic sentiment fell to 95.4 versus 96.3 expected, a fresh sign that economic confidence in Europe is deteriorating amid slowing growth and stagnant inflation. Germany's CPI preliminary reading comes in at 2.3% YOY, softer than the forecast of 2.5%, further reinforcing expectations for an ECB cut this summer. U.S. Treasury yields are ticking higher, with the 10-year nearing 4.65%, as investors brace for Wednesday's Q1 employment cost index and Friday's NFP, both key inputs for the Fed's rate outlook. BOJ stays ultra-dovish, but market chatter suggests the Ministry of Finance may have quietly stepped in with stealth yen buying early this morning as US dollar to Japanese yen flirted with multi-decade highs. Technical analysis, major pairs, as of April 29, 2025. Euro to US dollar, bearish bias holding. Current price, 1.0675. Resistance, 1.0710, 1.0755. Support, 1.0650, 1.0600. The euro remains capped below 1.0710, which has acted as a ceiling for the past 3 sessions. The break below the 1.0700 psychological level last Friday shifted momentum bearish. If price breaches 1.0650, we could see an accelerated move toward 1.0600 heading into key US data on Wednesday. Outlook: as long as euro to US dollar trades below 1.0710, sellers have the upper hand. A retest of 1.0600 is likely unless US data surprises to the downside. Pound sterling to US dollar, range with a slight bearish tilt. Current price, 1.2460. Resistance, 1.2500, 1.2565. Support, 1.2430, 1.2370. Sterling is clinging to the lower end of its recent range. The 1.2500 level remains a tough barrier, and today's price action suggests more sellers are stepping in on any rally attempts. If 1.2430 gives way, watch for a move toward 1.2370, especially if US yields keep climbing. Outlook: expect pound sterling to US dollar to remain range-bound unless there's a clear catalyst. However, bias remains slightly bearish with risk tilted to the downside heading into US employment data. US dollar to Japanese yen, intervention fears are real. Current price, 158.20. Resistance, 160.00, 161.30. Support, 157.00, 155.85. The yen hit a high of 160.22 overnight before sharply reversing, a likely sign of unofficial intervention. Traders are nervous about holding long US dollar to Japanese yen above 160.00, which the Japanese government has repeatedly warned about. That makes this pair tricky. Volatility will remain high here through Friday's jobs report. Outlook: Watch for choppy trading between 157.00 and 160.00. Short-term traders should use tight stops. A confirmed break below 157.00 could lead to a test of 155.85 in coming sessions. Forex forecast, April 30, 2025. Wednesday is loaded with market-moving economic releases. U.S. Employment Cost Index, ECI, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. This is a key inflation measure watched closely by the Federal. If it comes in hot, expect further strength in the dollar across the board. Euro to US dollar and pound sterling to US dollar could break lower. ADP employment change, private payrolls, 8:15 a.m. Eastern Time. A strong ADP number may front-run expectations for Friday's NFP and strengthen US dollar to Japanese yen again. Canada GDP, February, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Watch US dollar to Canadian dollar for sharp moves depending on whether growth picks up or slows down. FOMC decision looms on May 1st. Traders are positioning early. Any surprises in tomorrow's data will likely drive volatility into the Fed announcement. Trader tips, April 29th to 30th. Tighten stops in US dollar to Japanese yen. This pair is moving fast and could turn sharply without warning. Stick to smaller positions or wait for confirmed direction. Don't front-run big data. With Wednesday's economic releases, avoid overcommitting before the numbers hit. Let the market react first, then join the trend. Watch risk sentiment. Equity markets are jittery, and any sharp sell-off in stocks could trigger safe haven flows, which would benefit the yen and potentially the dollar. Use key levels for entry. Wait for price to either break support or retest resistance before entering trades. Choppy ranges can easily stop out impatient entries. Today's session laid the groundwork for what could be a volatile midweek. The US dollar remains firm, and the technicals on majors like euro to US dollar and pound sterling to US dollar suggest a bearish undertone. But with key economic data ahead, everything could shift quickly. Be patient. Let the numbers guide your trades. And remember, the best setups often come after the dust settles.